What's brappin', my fellow Nitro heads? Welcome to part 2 of Losi 8XT build. Bag B starts now. Let's see what Bag B has in store for us. Got a mint little tool. Got another mint little tool. Shock springs. Shock boots, the spring retainers, oils. We got 32.5 and 37.5 weight. We got our shock bodies and caps. Sweet, they got TLR engraved on the cap. Got our hardware. Shock shaft and pistons. And we got our seals. Let's start with opening the shock bodies. I do believe two should be longer than the others. Look at these sweet looking things. So this part right here, digital calipers will come in handy. I was right. Two are longer than the other, so you're gonna have to use your digital calipers, measure the bodies, and find out what shock is gonna be what. First thing it looks like we're gonna need is our seals. So we got them right here. We got all the parts laid out. And I got a shock sitting here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna completely take this shock apart. Oh no! So now that we have the shock disassembled, it's ready to be built. In the manual, they don't tell you to lube up any of these seals. I highly suggest you do. I'm gonna lube them with the shock oil that comes with. So we're gonna start with the thin little washer that they give you. A little bit of oil on it. Install it in there. It's not going in real good. See here, it's not completely flat in there. Just gently give it a little poke with something, and it falls right in there. Got a funky looking seal. Put some oil on it. Drop her in. Then we got a fat looking seal. Or sorry, that's a little spacer. Put a little bit of oil on that. Drop her in. Another funky looking seal. Oil on it. Drop her in. I got another spacer. It's got a little edge on it. The smaller part's gonna go to the inside of the shock. A little oil on it. Press her in. And take the bottom half, or sorry, the bottom lid. Then we're gonna put the little seal in the lid. A little oil on the seal. Put it in here. Make sure it reaches the bottom. Just gently work it in there. Screw it on. Don't tighten it yet, just screw it on. And bam, now repeat that process for the rest of the shocks. It's looking like we're needing our shock shafts, pistons, and hardware. Now we're building up our shafts. We're gonna need a screw, smaller washer, bigger washer, and a piston. The bigger washer is going to go to the bottom, We're gonna install our piston, taper down or 13 up. There's a number 13 up here. That's gonna go up. They want you to spray the screw. They don't want you to put any thread lock or anything on it. They just want you to spray it with some contact cleaner. And you're just going to screw on your screw. And bam, you're done. Now we're going to install the shock shaft into the shock body. And use our bottle of oil. Put a little bit of oil on our shock shaft. Line up with the hole. Pull the shaft through and tighten this bottom cap up as much as you can by hand. Keep that for all the shocks. It's time for this bag. You did a good job at cutting this bag. Now to install the shock shaft boot, just going to slide this over the shock shaft, pull the shock shaft through very gently. If you're having troubles, you probably could use silicone spray or some oil or something, but I'm not, just simply because I don't want to risk the boot slipping off. We're just going to push it on until it's even all around. That should be good. We're going to install a pivot ball into a rod end. Now if you don't have the tool, this is the easiest way I found to do it. Just place the pivot ball into the rod end. Just grab a pair of regular pliers and just gently pinch them on. Bam, no damage. Nice and easy. Okay, so for installing your rod ends, I don't have any shock shaft pliers. So this is the easiest way I found to do it. Do at your own risk. Alright, start. There's no threads in here, so you start these very carefully by hand. Just put my screwdriver onto the screw that holds the piston on, and I just tighten her up until she stops. Bam. Can't find my shock stand, so I got 2 shocks, airing out on my vise, and a couple tires. Looks good to me. Put some fluid in there. Tell you, they just give you enough for these shocks. Just barely enough oil. Now we're going to put our adjusters together. It's just a simple O-ring here, just to keep it from backing off. So all we're going to do is just feed it into a little groove, and bam, and install these on our shocks. Now we got our springs to open up. Sweet. So the oil is bled and the cap is installed. I didn't show bleeding the shock because you have choices of either emulsion or bladder. So we have to install our spring and these weird bushing things. So the rounded edge goes to the top. All you do is just kind of pop them in. Snap. Then our spring. And a little retainer. What I love about this kit so far is there's a screw that goes in. So if you're running your springs super loose, you can't lose your retainer or your spring. I love this setup. We're just going to screw this in. And bam! 4 shocks are built.